The galaxy was full of great and powerful races. Some were thousands of years old. They had big ships, strong weapons, and long histories of war and peace. In the middle of all this, Earth was new. Humanity had just joined the Galactic Council 2 years ago. The other species called them the Young Ones, but not in a kind way. They laughed behind closed doors. Some laughed in front of them. To the galaxy, humans were a joke, weak, loud, emotional, and not worth taking seriously. In the Great Council Hall, where hundreds of alien races met, Earth only had one seat, small and far in the back. The human ambassador, David Rains, sat alone at the round table. His hands were tight in his lap. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. Today, a trade deal was being discussed. Earth wanted help building faster ships. It was a fair request. Earth had already sent medical teams and food to help other species. But when David stood to speak, a tall insect-like creature from the Zenari Empire cut him off. "Humans should listen, not speak," the creature said, his voice cold and clicking. Many aliens laughed. Some shook their heads. David stood still for a moment, then slowly sat back down. He didn't say a word. The laughing continued. One alien even threw a paper drink packet at him, and it landed on the floor near his chair. No one stopped it. No one cared. Outside the council hall, news spread fast. Videos of the insult reached Earth in hours. People were angry. Some wanted Earth to leave the council. Others called for war. But the leaders stayed quiet. They said Earth must be patient. "Let them laugh," one general said. "They think we are weak. Let them believe it." Far from Earth, on a dark side of the moon Titan, a secret base sat hidden under ice. Inside it, no one was laughing. Soldiers trained hard in silence. Engineers built ships in underground hangars. These ships were fast, black, and had no name or flag. They were not shown in public. They were part of Project Eclipse, Earth's secret military plan. It had started the day Earth joined the Council. The leaders knew this day would come. The day when peace would fail. The day when the galaxy would go too far. One man watched everything from behind a glass wall. His name was Captain Elias Ward. He was tall, with short silver hair and eyes like steel. He had fought in Earth's last war, before the Council, before the galaxy even knew humans existed. Now he watched the videos from the council hall. He saw David Rains get mocked. He saw the drink packet hit the floor. And he said only one thing. Soon, they will understand. Back on Earth, David sat in a quiet room at the embassy. He took off his tie and looked in the mirror. His face was tired. His pride was hurt. But his voice was steady when he called home. "They laughed at us," he said. "But they don't know what we've been building." That night, far above the galaxy, a signal was sent. It was short, just one word: prepare. In the following days, small things began to change. An alien scout ship near Saturn disappeared. It sent a final message, static and one clear image, a dark ship with a human symbol. The council received the message but said nothing. They didn't want to believe Earth could do something like that, but in the shadows, fear started to grow. On a quiet world near the edge of space, a group of alien scientists were scanning planets. They found something strange on the edge of human space. A large station with unknown power readings. One of the scientists looked up and said, "Is this a weapon?" But before they could send a full report, their station went dark. No one noticed at first. No one cared, but Captain Ward did. He stood inside the Titan base looking at stars through a glass dome. He wasn't smiling, he wasn't angry, he was focused. "They think we're still sitting at the children's table," he said. "But we're not children anymore." In the distance, a giant ship, the first of its kind, rose slowly from the Titan hangar. Its engines were silent. Its armor was thick. And on its side was a name, written in bold letters: Wrath. Humanity had been humiliated, laughed at, mocked. But that time was ending. Now, Earth was preparing for something else. something the galaxy wasn't ready for. The colony on Vesta Prime was peaceful. It was Earth's first big step into deep space. Families lived there. Scientists worked there. The sky was always dark purple, and the stars looked close enough to touch. Children played in green domes. Farmers grew real food on alien soil. People called it Earth's second chance. But one day, everything changed. Without warning, 3 battleships from the Drevi Empire appeared in the sky. They sent one short message. This land is ours. Leave or be destroyed. The humans had no weapons, no soldiers, just a few drones for farming. They tried to talk. They begged for peace. But the Drevi captain only replied, "Weakness has a price." Then the sky turned red. Fire fell from the clouds. The domes shattered. Homes were crushed. The screams echoed into space. Within minutes, the colony was gone. Over 10,000 humans died. Only a few escape pods made it back to Earth. The news hit Earth like a bomb. People cried in the streets. Families watched the names of the dead scroll across screens. But when Earth asked the Galactic Council for help, the Council said it was a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? President Halverson shouted during a global address. They destroyed a peaceful colony, and the galaxy turns its back? The Council called a meeting. David Rains sat once again in his lonely seat. He stood to speak, but the Zenari delegate laughed. "Your colony broke borders," he said. "You humans never learn." David's hands shook, but he stayed calm. "We had no idea those borders were claimed. We followed the map you gave us." Another alien with glowing eyes leaned forward. "Even if that is true, it doesn't matter. Weak species must be careful where they step." David looked around the room. Not one voice stood with him. Not one species offered help. Not one word of justice was spoken. Earth was alone. Back home, people were angry. Protests began. Some called for war. Others called for revenge. On the news, a young girl cried while holding a picture of her father. He had been a farmer on Vesta Prime, but in the shadows, something else was moving. In a small village on Earth, a boy named Kieran watched the news. His older sister had died on the colony. He stared at the screen for a long time. Then he whispered, "Someday I'll make them pay." Years passed. Kieran grew stronger. He joined Earth's secret military training. He was quiet, smart, and driven by one memory. The day the sky turned red, he trained harder than anyone else. He learned to fight in silence, to move without sound, to strike without mercy. At the same time, Captain Elias Ward and his team were testing the Wrath. It was no ordinary ship. It had tech the Council had never seen. It could bend light, cloak itself, and launch weapons no one could block. It was Earth's answer to humiliation. It was built for one purpose: revenge. Captain Ward knew what was coming. He watched as other alien races started pushing Earth's ships around. They blocked trade routes, they stole cargo, they even captured human scouts, and the Council did nothing. "They don't want peace," Ward said to his crew. "They want to break us, but they forgot who we are." In space, a small human ship was stopped by an alien patrol. They claimed it crossed into restricted space. The human pilot tried to explain, but the aliens didn't listen. They opened fire. But something strange happened. Right before the ship was hit, something fast and black came out of nowhere. The alien ship exploded. No one saw what did it. There were no witnesses. Just silence. The Council started getting reports. Alien supply ships missing. Pirate bases wiped out. Rumors of a ghost ship that struck like lightning and vanished, without a trace. Some laughed. Others grew nervous. Then came the message. It wasn't long. Just a voice, cold and clear. This was your final insult. Earth remembers. Earth watches. Earth prepares. The Council tried to trace the signal. They failed. In a dark room, Captain Ward looked at a screen showing alien ships around Earth's space. They wanted to see what would happen if they kept pushing, he said. Well, Now they'll see. And far away, on a hidden moon base, Kieran stood in full armor. His eyes burned with quiet fire. Humanity was done waiting. The wrath of Earth was coming. Deep in space, far from the busy worlds of the Galactic Council, something moved through the stars. It was fast, silent, and nearly invisible. It had no flag, no name, no light. It was not listed in any database, but inside it were humans, quiet, focused, and ready. This was the Wrath. Captain Elias Ward stood on the command bridge. His face was cold and still. He had waited years for this moment. Earth had been laughed at, insulted, and ignored. But now, the galaxy would see a new side of humanity. One that didn't beg. One that didn't cry. One that struck back. On the edge of Drevi space, an alien scout ship picked up a strange signal. The pilot looked confused. "That's human tech," he said, "but it's not on any chart." Before he could send a full report, the signal vanished. Then, in the blink of an eye, his ship exploded. No warning, no escape. The Council received the report, but it was short and broken. Static. A flash of a black ship, then silence. At first they thought it was a mistake. Maybe pirates, maybe a glitch. But then more reports came in. Patrols gone missing, space stations losing contact. Alien captains started whispering a name. The Ghost. In truth, the Ghost was not one ship. It was a group of them. Part of Earth's secret fleet, all built under Project Eclipse. They had weapons that melted armor, shields that bent around light, and AIs that learned in real time. They didn't fight like the other races. They didn't follow rules. They hunted like wolves in the dark. Captain Ward knew the aliens wouldn't understand. Not yet. He stood at the edge of the map room, watching stars blink on and off as enemy outposts disappeared. "They still think we're scared," he said. "Let them believe it. Just a little longer." On Earth, news of the attacks was kept quiet. Only the highest leaders knew what was happening. President Halverson met with Earth's military council in a secure bunker. "The council will come for answers soon," she said. "Are we ready?" "General." Harlow nodded. "We've been ready for years. Let them knock. We'll answer with fire." In the training halls of Titan, new soldiers were preparing. Men and women who had lost family on Vesta Prime. Others who had seen how the galaxy treated Earth. One of them was Kieran, the boy who once cried in front of the news screen. Now he wore full black armor. His face was calm. His eyes were sharp. He didn't talk much. He just listened and trained harder than anyone. One night, Kieran stood in the shooting range, hitting every target without missing. Captain Ward walked up beside him. "I've read your file," Ward said. "You lost someone." Kieran nodded. "My sister. They burned her world." Ward said nothing for a moment. Then he placed a hand on the young soldier's shoulder. "Good. Remember that. Don't let the anger break you. Let it guide you." Meanwhile, in the halls of the Galactic Council, things were changing. Alien leaders were nervous. Their ships were vanishing. Their colonies were going dark. A few brave ones stood up during a meeting. "We believe Earth is behind this," said a lizard-like ambassador from the Falari Union. "We must demand answers." "But," the Zenari laughed again. "Earth? Please. They're still crawling." David Rains, Earth's ambassador, stood up slowly. His face was serious. "We've warned you. You didn't listen." The Zenari delegate stood too. "If Earth is attacking us, then you will face the full might of the galaxy." David didn't blink. He simply replied, "Then I hope you're ready." That night, across hundreds of star systems, human ships moved into place, quiet, sharp, waiting, and then the wrath struck again. This time, it wasn't a small patrol. It was a major Drevi warship, a symbol of their power. It was destroyed in under 2 minutes. Not a single distress call made it out. The only thing left behind was a signal left on the wreckage. 3 simple words. Earth was listening. Panic spread fast. The council finally understood. Humanity had not been silent because it was weak. It had been silent because it was preparing. Captain Ward stood on the bridge of the Wrath, looking out at the stars. "They pushed us too far," he said, "and now they'll learn." Behind him, Kieran and the others stood ready. The galaxy had laughed long enough. Now, humanity's wrath had awakened. The Galactic Council was falling into chaos. Inside the Great Council Hall. The mood had changed. The laughing had stopped. The jokes about humans were gone. Now, the room was full of fear. Delegates from every part of the galaxy whispered to each other. Holograms of burning ships and destroyed outposts floated in the air. One thing was clear. Someone was attacking them. And no one knew how to stop it. "They strike from the dark," said the Drevi ambassador. "Our warships vanish without warning." "Their weapons melt our shields," said a delegate from the Zari Dominion. "Even our strongest fleets can't stop them." "Who is it?" someone asked. "Who dares to attack the council's members?" Many eyes turned toward the back of the hall, toward Earth's seat. David Rains stood slowly. His face was calm, his voice steady. "You blamed us when we were weak," he said. "You laughed when we were peaceful. Now you blame us again, because you are afraid." The Zenari delegate slammed his fist on the table. "Are you saying Earth is behind this?" David looked him in the eye. "I'm saying we warned you. We asked for help. You gave us silence." The room fell quiet. Far from the council, deep in human space, Earth's secret war continued. The Wrath was now leading. A fleet, small, fast, deadly. It had no name, no official orders. But it knew exactly what to do. Captain Elias Ward stood on the bridge as new targets appeared on the screen. He didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. "We are not murderers," he told his crew. "We strike only those who struck us first." Behind him, Kieran checked his armor and gear. He was now second in command of a stealth unit. He moved like a shadow, silent and precise. "We finish this," he said softly. "For Vesta Prime. For Earth." Their next mission was dangerous. The Drevi Empire had built a hidden command station near the edge of the neutral zone. It was protected by powerful shields and orbiting drones. The Council believed it was safe, but they were wrong. At Oro 300 hours, the Wrath arrived, cloaked and ready. 3 more Earthships followed. Silent, dark, perfect. Captain Ward gave the order. No warnings, no talks. They made the rules. The attack lasted only 6 minutes. The Drevi station exploded from the inside. Earth's commandos moved like ghosts, planting charges and vanishing before alarms even sounded. No survivors, no evidence, except one message left behind on a glowing screen. "This is for the dead." Back on Earth, President Halverson watched the footage. She said nothing for a long time. Then she turned to her generals. "Will they come for us?" "They will try," General Harlow replied. "But they don't know what we've built." In the following days, panic spread through the Council worlds. Fleets were recalled. Borders were shut. Spies were sent to learn Earth's secrets, but none returned. Rumors grew wild. Some aliens believed Earth had found ancient lost technology. Others thought humans had made a deal with death itself in Mael. Truth, it was none of those things. It was rage, cold, controlled rage, the kind that builds when no one listens, the kind that grows when your people die and the galaxy turns away. Earth had not gone mad. It had become focused. The Council finally called an emergency vote. "Earth must be removed from the Council," the Zainari delegate shouted. "They are a threat to peace." Others agreed. But then, something happened. All screens in the Council. Hall turned black. A symbol appeared. Earth's flag. Then a voice. Captain Ward's voice. "I know you hear me," he said. "This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about respect. You showed us none. You called us weak. Now you feel fear. But we are not your enemy, unless you make us one." The Council sat in silence. "This is your final chance," Ward continued. "End your games. Leave Earth alone, or we will end it for you." The screens went dark. For a full minute, no one spoke. Then the Drevi ambassador stood up, his voice shaking. They shouldn't have this power. They do, David. Rain said, rising slowly, and they never wanted it. But now, they'll use it. The council was divided. Some still wanted to attack Earth. Others were ready to make peace. But fear now ruled the room. Outside the hall, across hundreds of systems, Earth's black ships were already watching, waiting, ready to strike again. Kieran stood beside the Wrath's launch bay, helmet in hand. Let them choose, he said. Peace or fire. The galaxy had played its last game. Now Earth was in control. The message was sent across the stars. Every planet, every space station, every ship connected to the galactic network received it. It played once, no repeat, no warning. It showed the planet Vesta Prime, before and after. Lush green domes, laughing. Children, peaceful homes. Then flames, explosions, bodies. The screams could still be heard under the silence. The video ended with simple words. You called us weak. Now you understand our silence. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Then, Earth's flag faded into view. Across the galaxy, fear turned into panic. Alien citizens watched the message in disbelief. They had been told humans were emotional but soft, that they were brave but foolish. Now they saw something else. Quiet storm. In the Galactic Council, emergency meetings continued non-stop. Some species called for peace. Others wanted war. But no one had answers. One delegate asked, "What does Earth want?" David Rains answered, calm as ever. "We want justice. We want respect. And now you will give it, or lose everything." The Zinari delegate growled. "Is that a threat?" "No," Rains said. "It's a promise." While the council argued, Earth moved. Captain Elias Ward stood on the Wrath's bridge as his fleet entered Sector 19, home to several Drevi military outposts. He had a simple order. Hit fast, hit hard, leave no question behind. This was not war. It was a warning. Outpost after outpost fell in silence. Earth's ships came and went like ghosts. No sound, no signal. Just destruction. Each target was carefully chosen, no civilians, only military. But every strike left behind the same message. This is what silence builds. Back on Earth, the people watched in unity. The shame they once felt was gone. Now they stood proud, strong, united. President Halverson spoke to the planet. Her voice was calm, yet sharp. For years, we were humiliated. We asked for peace. We begged for help. No one came. Now the galaxy watches us with fear. Let them. We did not start this fight, but we will end it. Kieran sat in a ship's dark briefing room, his helmet beside him. His eyes were on a picture of his sister. He remembered her laugh, her kindness, the way she believed in the stars. She wanted to grow flowers on a new world, he whispered. Now that dream was ash. His voice changed, cold, focused. Let them feel what we felt. That night, the Wrath's fleet received a new mission, the most dangerous one yet. There was a Drevi weapons station near the council border, one that could destroy entire moons. It was hidden deep inside a gas giant, protected by gravity fields and powerful cannons. Earth's command wanted it gone. We thought. "Do this clean," Captain Ward said. "No mistakes, in and out." The plan was bold. Too bold, some would say. But Earth's soldiers were different now. They were trained in ways the galaxy didn't understand. No fear, no doubt. Just focus. Kieran's team launched first. Black-armored and silent, they flew through the gas giant's storms. Turbulence. Smashed their ships, but they held course. One by one, they entered the station through vents and blind spots. Cameras didn't see them. Guards didn't hear them. Inside, Kieran led the team to the power core. Time was short. Alien guards finally noticed them, but too late. By the time alarms rang, Earth's fleet had already moved into attack position. The Wrath uncloaked and fired. 3 precision blasts, taking out shield generators. Explosions shook the station. Kieran's voice came through the comms. Charges set, pulling out. The Earth teams escaped just in time. Behind them, the station burst into blue flame. It sank into the gas clouds, vanishing forever. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. It was surgical, clean, brutal, the kind of power only the strongest empires once had. Now Earth had it too. After the mission, Captain Ward gathered his crew. "We don't fight because we enjoy war," he said. "We fight because they left us no choice. We gave them every chance. They ignored us. Now they listen." He looked at Kieran. The young soldier said nothing, but in his silence was fire. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Council, new whispers began. Maybe Earth should lead. "No," others argued. "They're dangerous." "They're ready," someone else said, "and we're not." But it was too late to stop what had begun. The message had been sent, and the galaxy had heard it loud and clear. Earth was no longer begging. Now Earth was becoming the storm. The galaxy was different now. For hundreds of years, the Galactic Council had ruled with control and fear. Weak species followed orders. Stronger ones gave commands. Earth had been at the bottom, a small young planet with soft voices and big dreams. But not anymore. Now the name Earth brought silence to council rooms. No one dared to mock it. No one dared to smile when a human walked by. The Wrath and its fleet had done more than destroy targets. They had destroyed the idea that humans were weak. In every corner of space, aliens whispered stories. They don't sleep. They train in fire. They lost one world and built 10 more, stronger. None of it was fully true. But it didn't matter. Fear had already taken root, and fear was power. In the deep halls of Earth's War Command, President Halverson looked over maps of enemy strongholds. "They thought we had no strength," she said. "Now they see the truth, but we don't want to rule. We want peace. So let's show them what peace under strength looks like." General Harlow nodded. "Then we make one last move. One strike to shake the entire council. That strike would be risky. The council had a hidden vault, built under a dead moon. It held weapons, data, and secrets from every species. They called it the core. Only a few knew of its exact location. Now Earth did. Thanks to captured files and broken codes, Earth knew where the vault was and how to break in. Captain Ward and his team were ready. "This is the final key," Ward said to his crew. "Once we hit this, they'll have to sit down and talk, or fall apart." The Wrath flew fast through unmarked space. Behind it, 5 other human ships followed, cloaked and quiet. Kieran sat with his team, checking weapons and gear. His eyes were cold but focused. "We get in," he told them. "We don't fail." The vault was deep underground, covered in rock and shielded by ancient tech. Most believed it was unbreakable. They were wrong. Earth's AIs had spent months studying its defenses. They found cracks, weak spots, glitches. The attack began with a pulse, one that shut down the outer shields for 7 seconds. That was all they needed. The Wrath fired a single burst, opening a path through the surface. Then the ground team went in, fast, silent, and ruthless. They used shock rounds and blackout tech. No alarms, no alerts, just silence. Kieran's unit reached the vault doors. He placed the charge and stepped back. Boom, they were in. Inside were weapons older than some civilizations, maps of uncharted systems, files on every council member, what they feared, what they hid. They took everything. When they left, they didn't destroy the vault. They left it open, on purpose. 1 hour later, the vault's ruins were discovered. Panic exploded across the council. They broke into the core. No one has ever done that. What do they want? Then came Earth's final message. It played across the galactic network. No video this time, just a voice. Captain Ward's voice. "You wanted us small. You kept us weak, but we grew in your shadows. Now we hold your secrets. Now we have your attention." The voice paused. "You can choose peace. We are ready to forgive. But if you choose war again, we will not stop next time. We will end it." For the first time in history, the council was afraid together. The Zinari, the Drevi, even the ancient Zari, all fell silent. And one by one, their leaders sent messages back to Earth. Not threats, not insults, but requests. Requests for peace. Talks began 2 days later. On a neutral space station, human leaders met with the council. No weapons, no tricks, but everyone knew who had the power now. David Rains walked into the chamber and took his seat at the head of the table. No one objected. "We don't want control," he said. "We want safety, fair trade, equal voice. If that's too much, then we walk out now and let the black ship speak next." The council agreed. They had no choice. Kieran watched the news from his bunk aboard the Wrath. Peace was coming, but it didn't erase the pain. The ones he lost were still gone. But now, at least, their deaths had meaning. He stood and walked to the window. Stars stretched across the dark. This was Earth's sky now. The war wasn't over, but Earth had risen, and the galaxy knew humanity would never kneel again. A new flag flew in the heart of the galaxy. It wasn't the flag of a conqueror. It wasn't a symbol of control or fear. It was Earth's flag, calm, strong, and clear. And now, it stood side by side with the oldest empires in the galaxy. But the journey hadn't been easy. Only months ago, humanity had been pushed to its knees. Their people laughed at, their calls for help ignored, their colony burned. Now, the galaxy listened when Earth spoke. Peace talks continued on Station Helios 9, a floating city between council space and human territory. Every race had a seat, but Earth sat at the center. Captain Elias Ward stood outside the meeting room, looking through a glass panel. He wasn't dressed for battle now. No armor, no weapons, just a simple dark uniform and sharp eyes. Kieran joined him silently. "Did you ever think we'd see this day?" Kieran asked. Ward shook his head. "No, but I never stopped working for it." Inside the meeting room, President Halverson gave a simple speech. "We are not here to rule," she said. "We are here to rebuild. Together. The galaxy broke something. In us. But we built something stronger in return. Now we offer peace, but not weakness." She paused. "If you ever forget what humans are capable of, just remember what silence cost us." There was no applause, only nods. Even the Zinari delegate, once proud and loud, sat in silence. That night, across Earth, people celebrated. Families lit candles for the ones they lost. Children played games with starships and helmets. Old veterans stood with tears in their eyes. "We didn't just survive," one man said. "We became something more." Kieran walked through the halls of the Wrath one last time. His mission was complete. His anger, once like fire, had cooled. He still carried the pain, but now it gave him strength, not hate. He stopped at the memorial wall. Pictures, names. Thousands of them. He touched one, his sister's. "We did it," he whispered. "They'll never forget you now." The Wrath itself was being retired. It had become more than a ship. It was a symbol of vengeance, of justice, of Earth's silent rage. Now it would rest, honored forever in orbit above Earth, turned into a monument. But Earth was not stopping. New ships were being built, not just for war, but for peacekeeping, exploration, and defense. Earth had learned its lesson. Never again would they be caught weak. Never again would they beg. Now they would stand, and others would stand with them. In a small broadcast sent across the galaxy, a human child spoke into a camera. Her message was simple. "We are humans. We protect our home. We help others. But if you hurt us, we won't cry. We'll rise." The video went viral. Even alien children started saying the words. "We'll rise." It became a chant, a warning, a promise. Years passed, and slowly, the galaxy changed. Earth didn't take over, but it became something more powerful, respected, trusted, feared when necessary, loved by those who knew what it meant to fight alone and still survive. In the Council, Earth helped rewrite old laws, laws that once allowed the strong to crush the weak. Now no voice was ignored. No cry for help left unanswered. David Rains remained the ambassador for many years, calm, smart, always watching. When a young alien asked him, "What made humans fight so hard?" he answered without thinking, "Because we remember. Remember." "What?" the child asked. Rains smiled sadly. What it felt like to be humiliated, and what it took to rise again. Back on Earth, in a quiet field, Captain Ward walked alone. No cameras, no soldiers. Just wind, grass, and stars above. He stopped beside a stone with no name. Just one line carved deep, "Never kneel again." He stood there for a long time. Because that was the truth of Earth's story. Not that they fought back. Not that they became powerful. But that when the galaxy tried to break them, they rose higher, stronger, united. And now, they would never fall again. The end.